Hi, everyone. I want to talk today a little bit about a time management tip, which may make us all a little uncomfortable. I think that you'll believe in the philosophy behind it, but I think in your head, one customer will pop up in your head and it'll be hard to shake. So follow me on this journey for a moment. Let's see if we can come to the conclusion together. I've often been a big believer that agencies should be setting up appointments with clients. Now, for some agencies, they don't even have an office, and this isn't as big of a challenge. But for many agencies, they've either acquired books of business or in towns where, hey, there's some people that just like to stop by and say hello. Now, as we go through this coronavirus nonsense that we're all in, one of the things that we have to figure out is what are we going to trim? What are we going to trash when we come back? And what are we going to really think about doing differently? So I know that for many agencies, when clients just pop in, it can be a bit of an interruption. Now, I'm not saying a bad interruption, just a bit of an interruption. And people who come in tend to linger. You may have heard me say this before. Get rid of those candy balls. That is one thing that you can trash when you go back to the office. We can all probably stand to lose the COVID-19, and that candy ball causes people to sit and linger and poke around, let me tell you. So that's the first thing. But as we come back in, and for many agencies, as people re-enter, they're still not taking clients. So why don't we, as the world changes, develop a new methodology? There will be a time where the agencies do reopen fully again. I'm a firm believer of that. I don't think that we're going to live in this kind of isolation forever. While I have been wildly wrong on when that happens all along this journey, good thing I didn't bet on myself of when we reopen. There is this opportunity now to stop and say, hey, if someone comes in, we work by appointment. Let me take the information. I can call you back, or you can stop back by at 3 o'clock and we can work on this. But the reality is, in today's world, even before the coronavirus, my bank would require an appointment for me to open up a checking account. Now, you might be thinking, that is horrible service. I gotta say, I was a little frustrated when I first, my reaction, not my response, my reaction walked in. But then the branch manager did a great job of explaining it, saying, hey, it actually takes about 45 minutes to open a checking account. We have one of our customer service reps already busy. They're going to be working with somebody for the next 30 minutes. So by the time we got to you, the bank would be just about closing, and I don't want to have to rush you. So, and then she did a check to make sure I had all the paperwork, which I did, but I've done it a few times, so that's why I knew. So they were very kind about it, but they actually, doing the appointment, respected my time just as much. So one thing that we can do as we re-enter is really identify, do we need to be open to the public? If we do, what are the tasks that we're going to do? And what are some of the things that we're going to honor our time for? You've heard me say this many times. There is a silent customer out there. Just because someone's not breathing on us, which in light of everything going on is a different scenario, doesn't mean that there's not people ahead in line. We're doing competing work between calls, suspenses, or tasks in our management system, etc. And just because someone walks in doesn't necessarily mean that we have to drop everything. We can respond and grab the information and set a plan that works for everybody. So it's something to have a discussion about in your agency. The overwhelming fear is always that one person we're going to have a talk about. But we can do a lot of communication. You can put up signs. We can talk about how as we re-enter, things are going to change across this world. This week in particular, I've been mourning a little bit and grieving our old lives. My old life in particular. Things are definitely different, but what I do understand is that it's an opportunity. So let's not squander this one and just go back to business as normal. Let's figure out the ways that we can best serve the customer and honor all customers, even those silent ones that aren't breathing on us. If you like this tip, this is one of our strategies in our time management course, which we have all 3 ways now. I can do it live by coming to your office as long as it's safe. We have a totally virtual version where it's still live. We just do it a lot via Zoom. And the last one is you could have a DIY program in our new online school. So if this tip is interesting to you and you want to take it further to kind of restructure and get better at time management, check out those options. But in the meantime, stay safe and just remember, use this time as an opportunity to tackle some of the things that might have seemed like an uphill battle before. But as we re-enter, we can re-enter differently, more effectively, and more efficiently. Thanks so much, guys.